Have you heard about the recent Apple iOS update? Have you heard stories that this is going to completely decimate Facebook ads? Well, good news. This video is going to explain exactly how those changes have affected from a digital marketer who manages dozens and dozens of Facebook ad accounts. My name's Kyle. I'm the digital strategist at Maple and Honey and Social Geeks Digital Agency. Today's video, I'm going to highlight the recent changes from a Facebook ads perspective and what we can do to make sure that we're prepared to go forward and do the best that we can with these new changes. So I'm basing this all off Facebook's website. They have a great article, which I'll link into this if you're wanting to go through the full description of how this is. Essentially, to sum it up in a nutshell, Apple, with their iOS 14 version of their operating system, has now given their users more privacy. They can opt out of being tracked by apps and other programs to essentially say, please don't send my data back to Facebook, Instagram, and pretty much every other platform that tracks. So that's Pinterest, LinkedIn, TikTok, you name it, they have some form of tracking set up. So essentially, these were rolled out in early 2021. And what it's done is it has made it more difficult in terms of the Facebook ads to track and really report on who is buying products and how they're acting on your website. The main actions that we can take to kind of prepare are to make sure that your domain has been verified within your business manager account. You can do this by going to business.facebook.com, go to your settings, look at the different assets that are in there. There should be a domain section. Just make sure that you've added your domain in there. You will need to edit your domain through your register. So often it's a text record you need to add. If you don't know what this is, feel free to reach out. We can always help with these types of things, but I do believe it's generally a half-hour job, something pretty quick to do. So I'm hoping that you can do it with as minimal tech kind of expertise as possible. The next thing is if you are focusing on app conversion events, meaning that you're trying to get people to either download your app or take actions within your app, there is a whole other side of that will need to be prepared. So this is what we call Facebook's SDK. You do need to kind of look at making sure that that's updated to the latest version. Now, if you are focusing on sales, we deal with a lot of e-commerce clients. These new changes has restricted down the number of events that you can track on your website to 8. So it is important to make sure that you're tracking the events that really matter to your business. Oftentimes, these are things like page views, landing page views, add to carts, checkout initiated, payment details added, and purchases. Those are 6 of the main ones that I would recommend making sure that you're tracking. You can also look at things like contact us. If you're a lead gen client or you're a service-based industry, you'd probably want to revise that to make sure that you're tracking leads, inquiries, contact forms, and so on. So it does make a big change because there was a lot of other events that you could track previous to this. Now it's been restricted to those 8 for iOS users. Now, the pixel has also needed to be optimized or changed around. So we do recommend using what they call the C API. So this is kind of their conversions-based API tool to install their plugin. Now, essentially, this should be automatic if you're using things like WooCommerce or Shopify. That connection should be automatically through their C API tool anyways. So as long as you have set up your pixel through the WooCommerce partners setup, or you've set up through Shopify, or if you're using Wix, Squarespace, any of the other platforms, they do have a partner integration in there. As long as you've done that, you should be okay. Again, if you're in doubt, you can look into this by using a developer, or if you have somebody who's a bit more confident and going to the back end of your website to check, you can always go through that and double check. We use a tool called the Pixel Helper, which I don't have active on here at the moment, but it is a Chrome extension called the Pixel Helper, Facebook Pixel Helper, just to see if it's set up correctly and if it's tracking things as expected. Now, another thing to note is that the amount of data being sent back from iOS users now has been restricted. The main thing to kind of highlight is that, especially for ad creation, that you will have some limitations in terms of the number of campaigns that you can run at once. So especially for apps, this has really affected a lot of apps. It's limited to 9 campaigns at once. I don't think that that's going to really kill people off, especially small business clients. Generally, you'll have 3 to 6 campaigns in your account if you're just doing, the core business kind of advertising. If you're going really niche and you're narrowing down into other, target markets or customer personas or collections in your products, you may need to look at using a smaller amount of campaigns and more ad sets to make sure that that still works. Now, I think the main thing that, like we talked about before, is that there are now only 8 events being sent back from the pixel, which does restrict things. So you do want to make sure that most businesses won't have more than 8, but some will. You just want to make sure that you have highlighted your top 8, and those are the ones that you're using. Now, another thing that we will talk about is that Facebook have restricted their attribution window. They used to report on 28 days from when somebody clicks on your ad through to potentially purchasing or taking an action. That's been restricted now to 7 days. So we have seen some noticeable reporting changes for clients because that window has been restricted down to a quarter of the size. That said, a majority of customers should have purchased within that 7-day period. And if you're using retargeting, those will still be activated and hopefully getting those purchases or getting those conversion events through for your business. So I still think that it's not the end of the world. We are still seeing a lot of clients perform very well post these changes. It's just making sure that you are checking these things. Now, another thing that I wanted to quickly go through was, I'm going to just scroll down a little bit here, is the reporting limitation. So this is the biggest frustration, I think, as a Facebook marketer and for our small business clients, is that there's no longer real-time reporting from iOS users. It may take up to 3 days for those sales to come through and actually reflect on your reports. So it's important to just note that if you are looking at sales for the last few days, that you may experience a delay for those iOS users who are converting on your website to actually show up. Furthermore, a lot of this are going to be estimated results based off their API. So there are some statistical modeling that they're going to be putting into this to kind of make sure that their reporting is still showing you sales, as opposed to not showing you the sale that likely did come through on the iOS from the iOS users. As well, there will be no breakdown of age, gender, region, or placement from iOS users either. So it's really only going to be attributing sales at a campaign level, and you won't be able to break down to see anything really about that user if they've opted out of this. So those are the major changes I think that we can see in front of us. There's delayed reporting. Some results may be estimated. You can't break down the age, gender, location, or placement of these users anymore. And the attribution window has been shortened by a quarter of the size of what it was before. So those are big, big changes that have come through in 2021. And that's how it may affect your business, is that these results may look completely different based on the fact that the window has been shrunk and the reporting is, a little bit more temperamental. So I hope that makes sense. Some common ways that we can kind of go through this as well is really looking at creating more not custom audiences, more saved audiences, because now that we're not getting as much data back from your purchases or your conversion events, lookalike audiences are going to be skewed as well. We definitely recommend that you check out your, the conversions on your website to look at how many people are iOS users. Now you can do this by going into your Facebook Analytics or Google Analytics. Both of those will tell you this. And you'll be able to see from your website visitors, what's the percentage of users coming from iOS. We have some clients who are less than 30% of their visitors are coming from iPhones, and then others that 75% of their visitors are from iPhone users. So it really can vary based on industry to industry, business to business. We highly recommend you check that out so you can see the impact of this on your business. The main thing is that the lookalike audience is based on, if you don't know what a lookalike audience is, I do have other videos somewhere here that will outline this for you, just talking about what a Facebook ads funnel is and what lookalike audiences are. But essentially, it's using the pixel to track your visitors and people who are taking actions on your website to help find more people like that. So a lookalike can be, I want to find people who are similar to customers from the last 180 days who visited my website. Those lookalikes may be affected now with this iOS update. So we strongly recommend testing. This year, we're testing all of our clients' accounts for saved audiences, and that is basically your customer personas. For us, it might be small business clients aged 20 to 30 who are interested in certain brands, that would show that they run a business like HubSpot or MailChimp or et cetera. It's kind of using those types of audiences instead of, here's my customers, please try to find similar people. Another thing that you can do is download your customer list, your email list, and upload that into Facebook, and then create a lookalike audience off that. So we've done both of those in our agency for our clients, and we highly recommend using those as a format because the targeting limitations have changed. Now, another thing as well is that there are some changes to dynamic ads. I don't think these are going to be hugely, catastrophic for most business owners, but essentially it's saying that you can only have a catalog with one pixel. So we do have, again, a lot of different clients that may have multiple different catalogs and pixels for different businesses. You basically just want to make sure that you have one catalog, one pixel, and just kind of using those strategically. The same goes for domains. So you want to make sure that if you do have other businesses that you're advertising for, you want to get those verified in your account so that they're all working correctly. So I hope that this video was helpful to explain the recent iOS changes and the Facebook ads changes as well. By all means, I don't think that this is a nail in the coffin or anything like that. Facebook ads are still going very strong. It's just important that you take these steps to make sure that you're getting the best results you can for your account. If you would like a free audit on your account, you're more than welcome to reach out to our agency at socialgeeks.com.au. We would love to help out and provide you our insights to see if there's anything that you can do further. For our clients, we've already gone through and made all of these changes in preparation of this update. So there's nothing that you need to do, dear clients, if you are watching. I hope that this answers all the questions that you might have about these changes and how they've impacted the Facebook ads performance. If you do have any questions, please reach out. We're always happy to answer any questions that you might have. And thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Have a great day, and hopefully you'll see me again soon. Thanks. Bye.